Dr. Susan Kaye here with Rachel Page. And Rachel is located outside of Philadelphia, where I mostly had an office for the last 25, 30 years. I don't even want to remember. But Rachel and I worked together. Well, we met because I had a professorship in Pennsylvania, and Rachel was one of my students. And we've been on many different roads and journeys together, and I'll let Rachel tell you about it from her side of the story, which I'm curious about. What is her side of the story, of our story?
Hello, well, I'm Rachel Page. And yes, I've known Susan now since 2007, a long time ago. She was my professor in school. And so it's funny, I've heard of Tantra and I was always interested in it. Tantra is like, to put it basic, the yoga of sexuality, right? And it's just about cultivating yourself and your life force energy and just becoming very aware, having intention. And so I'd been interested in it. And so there was some weekend workshop that Dr. Kaye introduced or offered for me to attend with her. And it was for women only. And it was an educational Tantra based thing for women healing women. So I didn't really know anything about anything. And I decided to go to this workshop, and it was an all-day event. And so I show up there late, and I'm not quite sure how things go at first, but then I get that they've already created this sacred space and are bonding. And I'm like, oh, but they just welcomed me right in. And we had this very, very deep and connecting set of practices, I guess, that you would go through where with your partner. And I was paired with one of the teachers. And so a lot of these exercises, we were just being present with each other, holding each other, eye gazing, some more intimate things. And it was introducing me to the possibility of healing through touch, hands-on healing. And what I experienced was so profound. I hadn't really experienced another person touch my body without trying to do me or get me off or get somewhere. And I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. And it wasn't bad tears. It wasn't. And that was the thing, is I was so attached to what this had to look like, or why it was happening. And the teacher, who was or my partner, who was actually Edie, she was my partner, and she's very well known coach and guide, and just a great person, great friend. And she was just introducing me to being present to the experience without being attached to it meaning anything or having to do anything or go anywhere. And her experience was very pleasurable and very playful and very just, I remember, expansive and big and bright. And it was just mind-blowing to me that two people could have these very different experiences and both of them were okay. And to be present with that. So needless to say, it was really life-changing for me. And I thought, wow, like how far down the rabbit hole does this go? Like I really was I needed to know more and to want to do more and to be more. So Dr. Kaye was also going to a sex educators and Tantra teacher conference out in the spring in Sedona and told me about it. And I was like, from that workshop that I attended with her forward, 100% hooked and had to be there, wanted to be there. And I think it was spring break for school. And I went to Sedona, and it was also an amazing experience. Just to share with you a small experience I had with that, we were going, there was ton of people, I think over 200 people at this conference. And one of these parties, or they call it a party, but it was more like an exercise for a couple of hours, another experience where people come together. Everybody started at the same time. We disrobed at the same time. We ended at the same time. And at the end, it was definitely very ceremonial celebration of the body. And I was very used to being just the youngest, center of attention, just most sensually and sexually not only provocative, but it may be intimidating. And this was the first time I was really not. Like, other people were confident in their bodies, they were confident about who they were, their sexual history, whatever that might be, whether they had 500 partners or one partner, they were confident about speaking it and their boundaries, and also their experiences, right? Even if they didn't have a good experience, or rather something triggered them, they shared about it. And I was like, people really do this? Is this real life? We could talk about our feelings, and it's okay. Like, I'm allowed to cry, and it doesn't make other people uncomfortable. I'm allowed to be scared to say no, or to say yes, or to ask permission. These were all, like, no one ever introduced to me um this, I don't know, this the whole um articulating so presently and confidently your boundaries and your needs and desires, and having them be received by somebody, and it be out in the open, like, hey, no, I'm not okay with this, or hey, no, I need to be touched softer, or and it was really amazing to see people just asking for and receiving and just speaking their boundaries. So yeah, I was wholeheartedly into whatever it was they were doing. I wanted to be a part of it. I didn't quite know what it was, but I was all in. And so I stayed connected with Susan. We even lived together. We went to Texas together, and I went to many, many different practices and apprenticeships and trainings for all different types of hands-on healing. And I loved it. And then through the years, just developed my practice. So I knew that Dr. Kaye was also, so I knew she was a sex therapist, and I also knew she worked with surrogates. And I knew what a surrogate was, but I wasn't sure that it, in fact, I thought there was absolutely no way that that would ever be me, right? I was like, that's just not for me. That's beyond what I can do and where I can show up for people. But what I found along the road was it kept seeking me out, and I just kept showing up in circumstances and situations, and with people that needed and wanted and desired that type of healing and guidance. And I I was really good and very confident at showing and people tantra and sharing that space with them. And then really it was, I feel like, a version of surrogate work where, I mean, I shouldn't say that, it prepared me for surrogate work, because it prepared me to show up with an individual where they needed it to be, right? So whether that's just talking about erogenous zones, or just holding hands and eye gazing, or stroking the face, or even just showing up. For some people I've worked with over the years, just being in a room with me, or any woman for that matter, was terrifying. And, this was also a learning experience for me. They healed me just as much as I healed them, because I never considered the fact that I might be intimidating to people, to men. I just thought, I'm so friendly. I'm so, hey, I'm sitting in your lap. I'm giving you a hug. I'm Rachel. What's up? How are you? And I didn't ever consider that this is scary for some people. And so it helped me cultivate different, softer, more vulnerable aspects of myself, and even allowed for me to go deep in myself and be like, is there any part of me that feels like this? What is that? And what I realized is that there were many, many parts of myself that I just, I didn't touch, or I had pushed away into a box. And really doing surrogate work opened up a whole nother side of me I didn't even know was there. And it's been amazing. Tantra also did that for me. It's like it allowed me to be to integrate, to be an entire, my masculine and my feminine, my mind and my body, my heart and my soul. And I really, so one of my favorite teachers, she said, of course, second favorite, you're of course my first, Susan, but my, one of my favorite teachers, she was at a training. She said that one of her gurus said that, you know, Tantra, or the goal of tantric practice and enlightenment, is to know that you are everything you think you are, everything and nothing all at the same time. I remember I was 26 when I heard this. I was like, whatever that means. I didn't even get it at all. Fast forward a few years, I'm going into this apprenticeship training. It was like level 4. I'd been working with these people all for at least 10 to 15 or 20 days, 4 previous times. And I had this total opposite experience where I felt shy. I felt unsure of myself. I was lacking confidence, and it was scary. And I was like, whoa, this isn't the Rachel. This isn't the version of me that I know. And it was like, I had this epiphany. This is what the teacher meant, is I am confident and forward and outgoing and open, but I'm also none of those things. I can also be shy and insecure and vulnerable. And being, embracing that, being okay with it, um, allowing myself to be whatever is present in the moment without judgment or attachment, that's profound. That was profound to me then. It's been profound for me throughout my life. And it's a practice. I'm not even saying that it's easy, but if I had to describe my work, I would say that that's it. Helping people to free themselves from the things that they don't even know they don't know about themselves, that keep them from being fully open, honest, and happy, and in the moment of pleasure, and able to experience every moment to the fullest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a lot too much?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, your sincerity, your authenticity, and knowing your journey, um, the product of what you have amassed to now share with others is, the time is now. It really is. And you and I were speaking earlier about coming out of COVID, and people are like, I just got to get out and get social. When what's really underneath that is, I need to get touched.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I think they're
and
gonna
there's
realize.
many ways to touch, as Rachel's saying. Just looking in someone's eyes, you get touched in a way that can be profound, that you never can go back from knowing that opportunity exists. Once we touch them, and as you stroked your face, I could almost feel it, because it's one of the things we initially do with clients is just touch their face with intention and attention. And they can't hardly look at you because we've touched something.
Mhm.
that gets closed off in our culture in many ways. We overshop, we over drink, we whatever, overs, whatever we use to avoid that pure, authentic, heart to heart, soul to soul, human being to human being, touching in with our humanity with each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's beautiful work. And
yeah.
I know we could go on about stories that you did, but we'll save that for your Patreon course
Yes.
that you'll be running out of our Institute, Integrated Mind Body Therapies Academy, which we're setting up on Patreon. So if you want to know more about Rachel, you'll be able to find her there.
Yes.
So much for
Thank you so
sharing. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
excellent. Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to doing more work in the future.
Yep, you got it.
Excellent. Yay. Bye-bye.
Bye.